Today, we are going to recap the Bears and the Seahawks games from this past week, as well as I imagine we are going to talk about the Big Ten news. I'm Adam Weil, Uncle Adam. With me is the Inn Keeper and Brandon Cauley. This is the Goonery. What's going on,
Yes,
boys?
sir. Good, man. We got an ugly win on Sunday, so I really can't complain, but we got a lot to address because of that.
I don't know what to make of that. Was that the Lions? Was that on the Lions just being the Lions, or was that the
Absolutely Lions being Lions. We had no business winning that game, but you know what? The fact that we came back, made that big defensive play, Kyle Fuller, and then Trubisky just turned it to Pat Mahomes in the fourth quarter.
Woo!
I'll take it.
This with the most
Hey,
fantasy points leading week one after a Mitch Trubisky bowl to kick off the season.
hey,
Times.
Mitch is playing like he was the second overall pick with that. I'll tell you that. But you guys are talking a win's a win. I saw a tweet the other day. Believe it was from Warren Sharp, one of those types of guys. And it was something along the lines of teams have had since 2005. I believe it was a 783 record with a 17-point plus lead going into the fourth quarter in the NFL. So I'm taking that win with a grain of salt, but in years past, the Bears aren't winning those games, so I'll take it.
We'll take it. We'll take it. We talked about a Nick Foles, when do we put a Nick Foles meter? And I feel like that would still be in the, not yet, no need to panic at this time after the complete game. It was a little different story at halftime, but I feel like by the end of the game, let's ride with this team and see what they can do.
Yeah, the thing about that is listen, the way Trubisky played in the fourth quarter, I loved it. Obviously, because he balled out when it mattered the most. But even Matt Nagy said it, like it has to be an all-game thing because if we have to fight from behind in the fourth quarter for every game, we're going to lose a lot of games.
Yeah.
Because we cannot rely on Trubisky to be that savior that we think he's going to be
Okay.
every single week when the defense lets us down and we can't put up points. So if this is a continuing thing, then Trubisky's going to find himself on the bench no matter what he can do in the fourth quarter because the game's not just won in the fourth quarter. I know, a lot of times it is, but most of the time it's not. You can't rely on just a fourth quarter comeback to win games. It's not going to work that way, especially because this defense has to get more acclimated and has to get more involved because they look bad in the second and third quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Brandon, you brought up the defense not looking great, and Adrian Peterson's just going to kill the Bears till the day he dies, I guess.
36-year-old Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, being there for less than a week. But then, the thing I didn't love about the defense from this past week was the Lions were without Galladay, and TJ Hawkinson, the tight end for the Lions, he looked unstoppable, and that's not a good sign if the Bears can't defend a tight end.
It's crazy that I think everyone peeped it. Danny Trevathan looked extremely slow. And they had to bring in Deion Bush just so they had to cut down on everything that was going across the middle. And what stood out to me on that last drive was when Amendola caught that pass over the middle, Trevathan was on him. You should know at that point in the game, he was struggling big time. You cannot have him on the field. I don't give a damn if he's that veteran presence. You cannot have him on the field because he was getting ate alive on Sunday. I hope that's not a continuing thing because who's behind him? Kwiatkowski's not there anymore. So if he can't get together, Deion Bush is not a viable replacement if that continues to happen.
Yeah,
I will say that
Gostowski.
Quit is now with the Raiders, and he was actually voted a captain. So that goes to show you what the type of guy he is.
And he got hurt too, unfortunately.
Yeah, he did. As a South Sider who is Polish, in fact, I know a lot of members of my family were upset seeing the Bears let him walk away, but yeah, when Trevathan went down, I was really, and with how well he played last year, I was really surprised we didn't even just throw him a contract. I know the Bears struggling a little bit with the cap, but still, the depth isn't there right now.
They don't want to seem to pay anybody at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to?
With A-Rob, right? And being a little frustrated this week, not getting a contract.
I mean, he's undoubtedly, I believe, a top 10 receiver in the NFL. And that's a guy that Mitch Trubisky needs to rely on. We saw Anthony Miller kind of look like the player he was supposed to be all along this past week. But that's only because teams are paying attention to Allen Robinson more than, like they should be. And, obviously right now, the reports are that Robinson did not request a trade. This is obviously his agent just pulling the strings right now, just trying to get the ball moving. But I'm still sounding the alarm.
It's a bad look when all this was happening, everyone's getting paid, and a guy who's been your top contributor on offense by miles over the past couple of years is not getting paid. Yeah, that's an issue, and the players know it as well. You have Darnell Mooney and Tariq Cohen both going to his defense saying, pay this man because he deserves his money. That speaks volumes. And if the front office is not listening, that's a bigger problem than anything.
What do you think the problem is?
That's damn. I don't know.
I feel like they're maybe not, all in on this Bears team, and they don't want to, just start paying guys, and they might be, thinking a rebuild or something if this team doesn't click.
Also, wait, go ahead.
I was just going to say that this front office should be doing whatever they can to save their ass right now. This is their last year. If Trubisky does not play up to just mediocre football, a little above mediocre football this year, Pace and Nagy are gone. I don't care what Nagy's record is. Pace is going to be fired, and I guarantee you Nagy will be right there with him.
So I'm going to ask, don't you think that Robinson's lack of contract movement, do y'all feel like it is one of those things they're holding out on what Trubisky does to see if they're going to pay him or not?
Yeah.
You see, that's an interesting question there, Brandon, because if Trubisky's going to be there, he's going to need Robinson.
Exactly.
Regardless. And whatever young quarterback comes in next is going to need a guy like Allen Robinson. So I don't see what the holdup is here right now. I really don't. But it's confusing and it's aggravating as a fan to see how outspoken the players are, how outspoken Allen Robinson was this offseason that he wants to get paid. Bears Twitter the entire offseason, #ExtendARob on Twitter. The fan base loves him.
Talking here too. It can't be, that much money for. I know he's a fucking great talent, but he's not a top 5 wide receiver talent.
While that's true, I still believe that in this market, who else are you going to get? Because
I agree.
It's thin right now because almost every one of the top wide receivers, they're paid right now. And you're not going to – and I don't know what their draft position is where they have to get a quarterback or a wide receiver, but regardless, for where we're projecting this team to be, you're not going to get a top quarterback. You're not going to get a top wide receiver for where your standing is in the draft unless they do bad.
And, we're just talking about the wide receiver market a little bit. Keenan Allen is a guy who I would say kind of means similarly to the Chargers what Allen Robinson means to the Bears, and a young quarterback there. And then they have Tyrod Taylor just as a stopgap guy right now. They just gave Allen – it was a 4-year, $80 million deal, I believe.
I believe so.
Allen Robinson, I think, is younger than Allen by a few years, so he's probably going to demand a little bit more than that. So that it's definitely a money issue. They're just definitely too far apart, front office and Robinson's team.
Yeah.
It seems like a story told too often as the Bears front office. Yeah, where would you rank Robinson all time on the Bears receiving history?
Ooh, wow.
That's a difficult question.
See, I feel like because I think recency bias has to play in for Bears receivers because we went through the era of Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey, and they were amazing. So, outside of that, you're not gonna put Musa Muhammad in there. You're not gonna put Bernard Berry in there. You could put Marty Booker in there.
Yeah,
David Terrell in there,
and David Terrell as well. Like I don't know, but considering there hasn't been a lot of great Bears wide receivers. I think the 1, 2, and 3 is like Jeffrey Marshall and Willie Galt. I think that it's very, very thin up top. So he probably is in the top 10.
Yeah,
He's approaching there easily. And then I mean, just if we want to talk about Bears receivers who just unfortunately, I mean, Johnny Knox is a guy who I thought was just going to be in the all-time Bears
supposed to
record
be the
books.
one, man.
Oh, when his back got folded like a lawn chair the wrong way.
That was one of the grossest injuries I've ever seen.
So cringeworthy. The heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was fucking good for his time there. I hope Robinson gets paid. I mean, they need weapons. He's a number one guy. Pay the man.
And just for reference, I looked it up. Allen Robinson currently, after being here for, 2 full seasons and now being in his third, he is 38th all time in receiving yards with the Bears.
Oh well. Oh.
Imagine he'll be moving up by the end of the season.
Yeah, he's currently trailing Greg Olson.
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
in the 30s in the 37 spot. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll pass that.
It might be a good transition to the Seahawks recap too.
Yeah.
You caught a touchdown this week for the Seahawks and their win over the Falcons.
I'll say it. I believe both of you predicted Russell Wilson to be your MVP this year.
Nah, I picked Tom Brady, but I picked the Seahawks to be in the Super Bowl.
Okay, that's where my confusion was. But man, Russell Wilson,
fucking
phenomenal.
Russell Wilson, yeah, he's fucking phenomenal. I feel like he's always that like number 2 guy or like always in the mix for MVP, but there's always some guy who just beats him on one extra category. But yeah, he was fucking phenomenal this year, and they can stick to a pass offense like they did against the Falcons, and maybe don't have to rely so heavily on the run to win their football games. Maybe that's what it does to move them into the MVP.
I mean, what they do, I think they threw the ball like 35, 40 times, something like that. And Russ said less than 5 incompletions. I forgot the exact number, but DK Metcalf was looking like DK Metcalf was looking at the end of the year. He keeps that up. And then, Tyler Lockett, we were talking about it last week, one of the most underrated wide receivers in all football. I mean, plays like damn near same game as Doug Baldwin. And you know how much Russ was missing him when he unfortunately retired.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of talent on that offense.
Yeah, this is the first time Russ in a while has had some, reliable receivers, since Baldwin, the injuries and he left, and, Lockett during those times was still kind of on the up and up and young. He's more seasoned, and DK Metcalf is, he's got a year under his belt. He's looking good. Chris Carson was catching passes out of the backfield. Looks like they got a little bit of depth with Carlos Hyde now. Jamal Adams looked like a complete monster on defense.
He's motivated. He was flying around the field. He is motivated.
They always have Bobby Wagner's, top 3 middle linebacker. I guess the pass rush is their only concern, and kind of some depth in the secondary, which could cost them. But they look fucking explosive on offense, which could hide, some of those inefficiencies on defense.
Yep.
I'll tell you though, I'm really looking forward to their game this Sunday night against the Patriots.
Oh yeah.
Woo! That's gonna be a great Sunday night game. Let's go.
Better Cowboys or Rams.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You should tangent on the Cowboys and Rams. 1 minute on the Cowboys and Rams. Mike McCarthy, man, he looked fucking terrible as a
that slob.
It looked like the same thing from last year. I saw no difference in their offense.
As Greg Zerloin or whatever his name is, owner in fantasy, it pissed me off that they didn't kick that fourth quarter field goal.
That was so stupid. That was such a dumb decision. They cost themselves the game.
Yeah, that is. I don't even know where to begin with that. It was just aggravating to watch, and I'm not even a Cowboy fan.
Yeah. I hope they right that ship quickly. I hope that's just like a mental, brain fart or whatever you want to call it, and they get back on track next week.
Yeah.
I mean, with no preseason, maybe these first couple games will be a little quirky. Maybe that preseason.
Tell you what, though, I saw a video in the offseason before McCarthy was hired, and how he's just been dedicating like 50 hours a week to just learning new data about football, changing the way he coaches the game. And I drank the Kool-Aid. I'll admit it.
Oh,
I'll admit it. I really believe that Mike McCarthy could change his ways, but
I was drinking it too. I can't blame you. I had him for coach of the year, but I would put that away after that week 1 performance. Oh man!
I'll tell you what though. I completely forgot about this move from the Cowboys. Just real quick, Alvin Smith back on the Cowboys. Been out of the league for 5 years.
I had no idea it was 5 years. I remember. Yeah, remember him being a beast.
Because I felt like it was like 3 years ago he was on the Raiders, but I feel like he didn't play. Or if I'm like wrong about that, I'm not sure.
Yeah, 5 years seemed a little excessive for him out of the league, but I mean, good for him to come back.
Yeah, God bless him.
When he was on that, Niners team before the Garoppolo era, he was fucking a monster.
Amazing.
I mean, and he's still only 30 years old. If he can keep the ship right, go down the right path, keep continuing what he's been doing, I mean, he's going to end up having a hell of a career to finish this off. Great story.
I still like that Cowboys team. I mean, that division's hella weak, as we saw this week. The Giants look like trash. The Eagles look real bad. Oof. And the Reds, there's no way they're as good as they.
Washington football team.
Yeah, sorry.
Their line is ferocious.
Oof. Well, they have a nasty front four.
Yes.
Chase Young and Sweat.
And Jonathan Allen.
Yeah. Thank you. So good things to come for that team.
I mean, how about Ron Rivera during halftime getting an IV, coaching with cancer? That's insane. Like,
tough SOB.
That was the most insane thing I heard all week.
Bear for life.
I had no idea he had cancer. I had no idea he was taking injections at halftime, and I had no idea he was still such a capable winning football coach outside of the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why we watch the games, right?
That's right.
What a week one. What a week one. We're limited on time here. Tons to talk about. I'm going to throw something out there. If you guys want to, feel free. There's definitely some Goonery of the week. I feel like we should nominate some of the ridiculousness we saw this week. Starting with the Bears game and Jamie Collins Sr. lowering his head hit the ref. But that was just so ridiculous on everyone involved in that scenario.
Yeah. Mine, because that was just funny. Like I felt bad I'm not gonna lie. I felt bad because I know he's trying to do, but you can't make contact. It is what it is. But
I didn't know you get ejected for that.
Yeah, you do. Any low contact, you're out of there. Because I think Marshawn Lynch got ejected a couple of years ago because he was trying to defend Marcus Peters because his cousin. So yeah, any low contact, you're done for. But in terms of my Goonery of the week, Stephen Gostkowski is a Hall of Famer, and he looked like he was a rookie. He missed 4 kicks, and of course he made the game-winning one. But goodness gracious, like that's just football for you. Like he looked like absolute garbage until it mattered the most. And you know what? That just shows you Bill Belichick is ahead of every single one of us, because we all question why he gave it to Gostkowski because he still was a solid kicker. Then, well, we saw why.
Yeah, I mean, they won the game after all that.
Somehow.
And I'm gonna echo that, Brandon. I have mine is also involving a kicker. My Goonery of the week is Randy Bullock of the Cincinnati Bengals, clanking the 33-yarder, and then immediately, because he knew it was wrong, just grabbing the calf strain something in his calf.
Did he really blow his calf, or was he?
I mean, no, he's gonna play this week. I mean, I love the move. Just like you fucked up, and just like instead of just like taking it with shame, you're like, yeah, I hurt myself. That's why I missed the field goal. And I mean, watching that drive as a Bengals fan, Burrow went down the field in like 3 minutes. I think he threw like 80 yards or something like that on that last drive. I mean, as a Bengal fan, you just have to be watching that like, oh, baby. Like, this is not Andy Dalton anymore. Mm-hmm. And then Bullock just does that. But I really think they're going to beat up on the Browns tomorrow night.
Oh, my God.
That's pretty interesting.
It's terrible that, they couldn't tie that game up and give Burrow a chance, being the future guy, the foreseeable future in that franchise, due to a fucking blown kick. But, maybe that's a blessing in disguise. They're not going to go anywhere this year. And, maybe that's a good lesson for him to learn to, just realize that maybe you need to step up a little bit more during the game so your kicker's not always relying on your kicker to win it at the end or tie it.
Maybe if Parkey did that, I would have felt bad for him.
I still would want to fire him into the sun.
Shitty
of course.
Team. But I don't know. Is your guys' money on the Bengals tomorrow night?
I would say so. I really would say so, especially with the reports coming out of Cleveland that they're looking to trade Odell now. There's just something not right there. I mean, that's just a snake-bitten franchise. It's just like with the talent they have on the offensive side of the football right now, if they can't get it together, are they ever going to? And they have talent on defense as well. Let's not like kid that they don't.
They played the Ravens though, so I mean, no one's gonna look good against the Ravens.
Yeah.
But they looked bad.
They looked very bad.
They looked very uncompetitive with a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. Oh.
Yeah. And I have this one. This is another little Goonery of the week, but this just is as a franchise as a whole. I just want to give it to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know if you saw the quote that came out this morning from Ben Roethlisberger. He said that after the game this past week, it felt like he was in a major car accident. And after they almost made the playoffs last year with Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph, don't you think they should have made a contingency plan other than those two behind him? And, I mean, you saw him. He's wearing the giant bionic J.J. Watt sleeve on his elbow on the sidelines. I mean, he's not lasting the whole season. I really thought he would, but, I mean, the play of older quarterbacks in the NFL, that era of QB is just rapidly coming to an end.
I couldn't agree more with the contingency plan. Like, regardless of who it was, it could have been a free agent, it could have been draft pick or someone. But I have a little bit of a different tone because Joshua Dobbs is back with the Steelers, and
I forgot about that move.
While he's not obviously the best because, he's a backup for a reason, he's someone who is familiar with the system, been there for a couple of years. So if they are without Ben Roethlisberger, which I agree, I don't think he's going to last the whole season because he's just beat up at this point. He's damn good. I think they'll be all right. Their defense could carry them to a lot of games.
Yeah, if Ben can stay healthy, I mean, that's a top 5 team in the NFL.
Yeah, just the way he maneuvers in the pocket is just disgustingly bad. Like it is just he reminds me of Mike Glennon, just dude who just can't move in the pocket. He just stiff as a mannequin.
Yeah. Hey, he still had more rushing yards than Saquon though, so
which is crazy.
Oh, dude, I fucking drafted Saquon. I want to fucking trade him already. Like,
I'll take him off your hands. I'll give you James Conner.
James Conner, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Also drank the Kool-Aid with him, saying he was in the best shape of his life.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll talk, but give me something serious, all right? It's still Saquon. But seriously, though, is that just like, not having a preseason, new coach, little Jason Garrett in there?
It's definitely
thing. Or do we need to panic on that team?
But are y'all concerned about the Giants this week?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I'm not the only one.
No, I am. I mean, I think they're a very
Bears victory. Sure.
they're a very talented young team, and I mean, I think Daniel Jones does not get enough credit for how quickly he developed, being thrown into an absolute shitstorm last year.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sink or swim, and he was treading water at least.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could obviously, I mean, he had a few turnovers against the Steelers this past week, but I think that was him just pressing, being down early to the Steelers. And hate to say it, against the Bears, they're not going to be down early. They're not going to be chasing a bunch of points.
Yeah.
If you let Daniel Jones just kind of do his thing, he can kill you with his legs. He can kill you with his arm. I mean, you saw him and Darius Slayton have a nice rapport. I don't know. And if Adrian Peterson can run for how many yards? Was it 80-something yards?
I thought he ran for it.
even more than I thought. So
yeah, I feel like Saquon will have a much better performance against the Bears defense. At least if the same defense shows up from last week. But overall, I got to ride that Bears win over that Giants loss.
Yeah, I think if Robert Quinn plays, it'll be a big difference on the defense. But that linebacking core has to step up because I do have my doubts about the secondary because we did look a little iffy at points. But just watching Jalen Johnson play, I'm just like, okay, this kid's got something. He's going to be special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And then another news too. The Big Ten. We're back. Just like we suspected, right? Last week. No reason to cancel the season at this point in COVID and with everything going on.
I mean, I love that it's back, but like we're still, I think it's 38 days away from the first games being played. I mean, if these guys have been working out like they've been supposed to, the kids playing on these teams, they should be ready within 2 weeks. I mean, to be honest, I don't know how the postseason is going to work now. I don't know how bowl games are going to work. It's going to be a shit show.
Yeah. Because right now they have like an NFL format going right now. If you don't make the playoffs, then what are you playing for?
Get rid of the bowls that are meaningless in a sense, and put those teams in a playoff system. This is the year to do it.
Yeah, they got to come up with a plan for it like fast because right now, like I think some bowl games are even canceled like way before all this happened. So like they gotta work out like bowl tie-ins and like automatic bids. They gotta work out all that stuff because I don't think they have yet. I think they're probably anticipating for something to happen so the season could get canceled, in my opinion. But we'll see.
No, I agree with that.
If there's a season without a Rose Bowl, then that's a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Rose Bowl game.
That's the truth. But I mean, I'm just confused on how you're gonna like weight these teams. These Big Ten teams are gonna be playing less games than the other Power 5 conferences who are playing. So how are you going to factor that in? Like we're talking, I know people have been talking about wanting to expand the college football playoffs since its inception. Like, what was it, 6 years ago now? Mm-hmm. I mean, this is the year to try it out. I mean, the FCS does, what do they do? I think they do 32 teams make it.
Oh, man. I think I wrote my college thesis on college football playoffs.
Really?
Yeah. I was big in on it. It's the bowl system's so weird. Everything else is a playoff system. Like, what's the point of like not having a chance to win it all?
And I agree with that. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I get why they do it. It's all for the sponsorship money and everything. But like,
I get it too.
What's the point of having like the GoDaddy Bowl or the Village of Buffalo Grove sponsored? Like, I believe they sponsored a bowl this past year. So I mean,
the Buffalo Grove Bowl.
I mean, there was like some village from the northern suburbs of Chicago sponsored a bowl.
Dude.
And I mean, I don't know. I understand it, but I don't at the same time. Like, obviously those kids, they get some great perks playing in those bowl games, but don't you think they would rather have the chance to go on that Cinderella run? I mean, you see it, and you see it. They do it at the Division II, Division III, and FCS level.
High school.
Yeah.
Professional, every step of the way except for college. The transition.
But hey, 4 teams, that's enough.
Yeah, they'll go up to 8, right, or 6.
I'm hoping. Very
They got
least, I'm
to.
hoping.
They got to, right? There's
I mean, with
always a
this
couple
year,
teams that deserve to be in. They should at least have one team from every conference plus a wild card or something, or from a non-big school in there. Right? They should have at least 5. Every power conference plus the highest record non-power conference. Right? Right? I don't know.
I don't have
I mean,
faith that they'll figure this out in due time.
no, I don't. It's the NCAA we're talking about,
Yeah.
and it's the most incompetent, corrupt organization.
It was very corrupt.
I mean, yeah, it's irritating to watch, and I mean, now that the ball is rolling on the Big Ten, you have to assume the Pac-12 is going to try and get some sort of contingency plan in place to play, and then also the smaller conferences like the MAC. I've been seeing it all day on Twitter. Players from the MAC saying we want to play, coaches from the MAC saying we want to play. Why not? I mean, why not?
Mm-hmm.
I just was at a bar, like I think we're safe. I think we're safe. If COVID breaks out, I feel like it's not really affecting college athlete type students. But
Yeah, and like I know like a lot of the problem, like the questions I've seen regarding the Big Ten testing today was people complaining about the testing capabilities. But like I go to Illinois. We have mandated twice a week testing that the university developed on campus. Illinois could very easily give that product to the rest of the Big Ten and get the testing done, no problem. I mean, the problem is solved. Our campus, we had an outbreak, a really bad outbreak a couple weeks ago. Got the email today saying that the problem is like the solution they proposed is working with the lockdown. And I mean, it's the testing resources are there for the Big Ten. There's no doubt about it. So I think they should have no problem.
Yeah, I agree.
let's hope. All right, got to wrap it up here, but can't help but notice those White Sox are looking real hot.
I mean, they're not looking great tonight. They're down 3-1 right now, but I'll tell you.
I don't have my phone on me, but they seem to be spanking those Twins these days, which is a big
I mean,
difference
for all the
a month ago.
Yeah, for all the people who are saying they can't beat good teams anymore, they've got to be just kicking themselves because the White Sox have the best record in the American League. And yeah. And if I was to be told that, fuck Nelson Cruz. My bad. I had the game on. But if someone was to tell me that at the start of the season on September 16th, the White Sox need 3 games to clinch a playoff spot and they have the best record in the American League, I would have told you you're crazy. I was expecting this team to be about 31, 32 win team and fighting for one of those last 2 wild card spots, but
they arrived this year. Yeah,
they're a year early. They still need another pitcher. They need a real right fielder, and I haven't seen the White Sox make the playoffs since I was 8 years old, and I'm just ready to enjoy it. And then eventually probably have my heart ripped out this year because we don't have enough pitching depth. But hey, it's okay. That's what next year's for.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be that bitter anyway if you don't win the World Series during the pandemic year, But,
and real quick though, Brandon, I've seen you tweeting about your Cardinals and how they don't deserve to make the playoffs.
Checked out. I'm checked out. I cannot. I have not watched a full game in about a week, which is alarming for me because I watch every game. I am so sick of seeing this offense. It is a joke. And the worst part is this was the lineup they was going to put out pre-COVID. And if they really, really thought this was a winning lineup, I want the whole front office gone. And I've been saying this for years because I'm not a John Mozeliak fan like everyone else is, at least in the media, because I know Cardinals fans can't stand him. I'm one of those people. I can't stand Mozeliak because he sits on his ass and does absolutely nothing to get good plays. But hey, we got that play from Japan. He might be good. Guess what? Is he hitting home runs? No, he's pitching. The pitching is fine. The pitching is okay. Other than Jack Flaherty, gave him 9 runs last night, but I digress. But offensively, this team stinks. And they do not even need to waste their time going to the playoffs. Because if they're gonna sneak into a wild card, what the hell am I watching for? For them to get stomped by the Braves or the Padres or the Dodgers? There's no. I'm good. I've checked out.
I've seen some under-talented Cardinals teams overachieve in the playoffs. I wouldn't sell them that short.
That is true because the two past championship teams have been overachievers. 06 is ridiculous that they even won a World Series. In 2011, we were a good team, but the Rangers were supremely better.
Yeah, there's
so I mean,
in St.
we had
Louis.
a crazy ass run in 2011, beating the Phillies and the Brewers.
But I hear you. I mean, there's, I wouldn't be overly excited about that team as well.
At all.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'll just throw in the Cubs at the end here. They keep winning. Maybe they're on a collision course with the White Sox. What a fucking time that would be.
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome? The 1 year where fans can't go to the games and the World Series played in Texas, and the city's just gonna burn to the ground regardless if that happens.
Oh man. Well, we'll be here. We'll be here tracking it every step of the way. We'll be recapping Bears games. We'll be recapping Seahawks games. I mean, sports are back. Times are crazy. Lots of Goonery. Give us a follow. Twitter @the Goonery. Subscribe at the YouTube. We're on Facebook as well, Instagram, you name it. Till next time.